Yeah, it is. It's story time. My life is incredibly surreal. It's crazy. I took a little bit of a break from music. I'm gonna give you the short version because I can be long-winded. I took a little bit of a break from music many years back. I'm an EMT, so I was practicing emergency, medicine, heavy rescue, and I was waiting for, I couldn't figure out my place in music. You know what I mean? Nothing I did, I ever got traction. It was just all fucking blurry to me. I've always had a connection with my fans. I've always loved you, but it was never clear to me. So one day I was on call, and my landlord, my very, very good friend, who I lived in the building that he owned, he was like, God rest his soul, he was like Doc Brown from Back to the Future, right? He used to come down, he would knock on my door, he'd be like, and then I would fucking go to the door, and it would be Steve. I'd open up the door, he'd be like, Michael, I've got this great idea for a song, and then I'd fucking hang out with him, right, and he would tell me, all these crazy ideas that he had for a song. But one day I'm walking around my apartment, and there's, in Dumont, where I grew up, and there's train tracks right up the road from where my apartment is. So I hear the knock on the door, and I think it's Steve, about a fucking song again. So I open the door, and he says, I'm like, what's up, Steve? He's like, I heard the craziest sound, the train made a sound. I'm like, what's up, man? I look up the road a bit and see the train has stopped. And I'm like, that's fucked up. I start putting two and two together. It's a rail line, so sometimes when they put their brakes on, something's in the fucking way. It makes a crazy, crazy sound. Now, I thought that I heard the scanner go off as I was going to the door, because I was in the back room doing something. And I was like, hold on a second, man. So I went back into the room where the scanner was. I hit the fucking repeat, and I heard the call was called Man vs. Train. Means somebody got hit by the train. Now I put two and two together. Right up the street there, right adjacent to that, is a small mental health center. So I was like, fuck. So I got in my truck, I got in my pickup truck, and I drove up the road. I saw that the train again was stopped. They ran through the cars, and I saw two cops there. One guy that I sort of knew, and there was a female officer, and she was brand new, and I could see as I'm coming up there, her hands were shaking. This guy was busted up pretty bad. So I get over him, I start doing my thing. I hand my trauma strips to the female officer, and I said, you gotta cut his clothes off, so just start cutting his clothes off. I get over this guy, and I start talking to him. I said, what happened, man? I start going through his level of consciousness. I'm asking him if he's drunk, does he do drugs, he's going through the whole thing, and he just kept on, I got his wallet. He's got a beautiful wife, he's got pictures of kids, and he just kept on saying, I just had a bad day, man. I had a fucked up day. So again, long story, I'm trying to make it as short as possible. The medics show up, we get him in the rig, and we bring him to the hospital. I stayed the whole time with him. His family showed up. This guy just had a bad day. He had a session with his doctor, walked out, and stepped in front of the train. And the train was only going about 35, 40 miles an hour, so when it hit him, it just busted him up real fucking good. Busted his head open. His fucking bone was hanging out over here. His ribs were all cracked. This guy only lost consciousness once. And right then and there, that sign that I was looking for, because that weighed heavy on my mind. I still see that guy's face in my fucking mind. And I knew then that perhaps I wanted to get to people, I wanted to get to all of you, even myself, I wanted to get to all of you before anybody steps in front of the train, if you know what I mean. And so I hung up my medic hat, and I grabbed my guitar, and I started practicing real hard on the acoustic guitar, and started writing songs again. I've always had a connection with you guys. I've always had a connection with my fans. It's always been about you guys. It always has been. It's never been about money. It's never been about fame. It's never been about any of that shit, and it never will be. I love you very, very much. So without further ado, because again, Anthony knows I just keep talking and talking and talking. So
We love you, brother.
I love you. I love you. I love you. And when you come up there and you tell me these stories about the way that this music connects in your life, and when I come here and we sing these songs and we do this collectively and individually, we cast these spells. It's magic to me, and it's love, and and we save the world a little bit every time we do it. So thank you. You all saved me too. All right, this is a song called Man versus Train. It's the story of that, what I just told you. I think I heard something funny up the road, he said. I never heard that train make that sound before. I think I'd better check the scanner because that I swore I heard a call. Oh man, I hope that what I thought I heard was just inside my head. The repeat confirms that it's something bad, so I drive up the street. When your time is up and you've had enough, please just wait for me. You know I know you're tough and you've had enough. I'll stay right here with you. We're getting wetter from the rain that starts, and it makes it hard to see where you're bleeding from. I've seen all this before, man, I've done it all before. It's a broken heart that needs treating. Oh man, I hope that what I thought I heard was just inside